Hello, welcome to week 10, Understanding Team Conflict, and especially conflict in a multicultural team. Unfortunately, conflict is a part of life, and it's a completely normal part of our interactions together, especially in working together, even in Christian ministry. I'm sure you've experienced this. There are lots of causes of conflict, various causes of conflict. Of course, one of them is our own human sinfulness, which is complex and deep and tied up with lots of other things. But along with that, there are cultural differences and cultural influences on the causes of conflict. Problems in misunderstandings in communication that arise from cultural differences. And then, of course, there are personality differences too, and individual differences that affect the way we approach conflict. So this week, these next 2 weeks, we're talking about conflict, and this first, week 10, we're focusing on understanding the causes of conflict, understanding how conflict escalates, understanding how different people from different backgrounds approach conflict, and there are a couple of, I think, very helpful frameworks or models for seeing different approaches to conflict that we'll be looking at together. You'll be reading half of the chapter of Evelyn and my chapter on conflict. I think I wrote most of that chapter, which is unusual. Most of the original writing in many of the chapters comes from Evelyn, but that one I know I wrote most of. Anyway, that was by the by. And then you'll be reading from Stella Tingtumi. Tingtumi's name comes up a lot in sort of secular research and writing about conflict, and I think she, together with John Oatsall, does a great job in their book. What's it called? Managing Intercultural Conflict Effectively. So we'll be just focusing on their chapter this week on understanding conflict in culturally diverse teams or work groups. And then next week we'll look at another chapter by them about focusing on managing conflict. So yes, you'll be thinking about conflict that you've experienced, and I'm sure you have. It's a completely normal part of team life. Not only in the storming phase, though that's where it particularly comes up, but also through into other phases, because it's a necessary part of working through differences of ideas apart from anything else, and coming to a good way forward together. The really important thing, I think, well, we'll get to this next week about conflict, is not sweeping it under the carpet and pretending it's not there, because it will be there. It's a normal part of team life. I hope you enjoy digging into, thinking about causes of conflict you've experienced or seen in teams, and I guess how the process has escalated and then analysing different people's approaches, including your own approach to conflict.